Lindner here from AdventureQuilter.com. I thought you might like to see my studio, a little tour for a rather little studio. Of course, I love having a door on my studio so I can make a mess, close the door, and nobody has to see it. And also I love having it here in my home, right off the kitchen, so that way I'm in on all of the family action. Let's take a look. Okay, here we are walking into my studio, and I did about 3 steps, and now I'm in the middle of the studio. It's not that big, but I'll show you some of the features that I have. Over here I have a bulletin board with all sorts of different things. It's propped up next to the door because I didn't want to permanently mar the door. And then traveling around the room, let's see if I can get far enough away to show you these cool leaves that I'm working on. I'm using my own hand-dyed fabric, and they have wire inside of them so that they're bendable, they're pliable. Pretty cool, eh? Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with those. I think you can see that they have some depth to them. I'm loving them. And this selection right here, these 2 fabrics are going to be another one, and I'm planning on making about 6 or so, all with different fabrics, of course, and also with different shapes. Over here, this one's going to be hard for me to show you. Let's see here. Okay, this is a self-portrait that I'm working on, and it's a group challenge, and each of the portraits has to be the height of the maker. So for me, that's only 5 feet. So the background is done, and now I'm working on stitching in different text. At the top it'll say, like the time she, and then there'll be different things after that. Sang to the cows, and so forth. Asked, who wants to tie my shoe? Some of them will be sort of funny like that, and then others will be maybe something that I did that wasn't so nice. I'm lucky to have lots of artwork decorating my studio, most of which has been given to me. Postcards, like those right there, and then on my second design wall, all sorts of artist trading cards and postcards that have been given to me over the years. This is a silly award that my regional SACWA gals gave to me and the other co-rep. After we were recognized for volunteer reps of the year, they fussed over us and made a big deal out of it, which was fun. Also, my all-important decorative accessory is a hornet's nest. My husband said, "You paid money for that?" But yes, I did, and I love it. I have 2 design walls. Both of them are propped against the wall rather than mounted into the wall, and then that gives me some space behind the wall where I can keep canvases and rolled up sorts of things. This is really my secondary wall, and usually it houses quilts that I need to do something to or with. Like, for instance, I need to put these quilts away. So this one right here in the front is cantilever. I'll turn the phone and see if I can get you a view of just it without all that busyness behind it, called cantilever. And then let me take it down and I'll show you the one behind it. The one behind it is called Coastal Overlook, and it just got back from an AQS show, and they sent me a little tag to put on it, so it's waiting for me to do that. So this is Coastal Overlook. Another thing that's kind of interesting, these are useful, you're gonna laugh. Pieces of muslin, just simply muslin strips, and I use them to help me visualize the dimensions of a piece. For instance, on this one right here, it's supposed to end up 12 inches wide, but I've got fabrics about 14 inches wide. So when it comes time to visualize how big that text should be and things like that. I needed to see it the way that it would really look. So I put the pieces of muslin, just pinned them on my design wall in what should be the correct dimensions, and then that showed me the actual proportions that I needed to use for the piece. I didn't clean up for y'all, so you're seeing how it really looks. The debris after making masks and the current project that I'm working on. I have 2 tables in my design studio and lots of stuff stored underneath. I won't bore you with all of that, but lots of those little rolling plastic containers. Now this wall over my ironing board again has pieces that were given to me or perhaps that I purchased. And this one at the top is very special. My husband has cancer, and even though he's doing well now, at one point he was not doing well at all. And my art quilting buddies, rather than sending me a bunch of cards, did a fabric bombing of my front yard. It was great. There was about 20 feet of artwork out there, and this is the only one that I have still completely intact on display. This one is made by Catherine Robinson, but I've kept the fabric and swatches from some of the others. The requisite ironing board, of course, and I've been getting into dyeing. So this is, some people call it a tartan, but it's basically a dye chart showing all of the dyes I was using at the time, spread across vertically and then again horizontally. And so you can see what they look like when they're mixed half and half. And a few more sloppy versions of the same kind of thing. I do have a large wardrobe that I use for storage, and hanging on that is the t-shirt I've been using to make masks, because I've been cutting strips off of the bottom to make the ties for the masks. In this corner we have this is the quarantine corner. These are things that I have ordered during the quarantine, and they're there in their 3-day holding corner so that I know there won't be any active coronavirus on them when I open them up. I'll show you my closet in a minute, but we'll just scan on around. I'm lucky to have won quite a few awards over the years, and so I've got them displayed, as well as some more that I haven't gotten around to putting up there. And one thing I skipped, I'll go back and show you. This is a portrait that my mother did of me. She's a very talented artist. This is when I was 12. I'm the youngest of 4, so the plan was to do one of each of us, but you guessed it, she only got around to me, so I'm the only one that got a portrait. Continuing around the room, my sewing station, some more storage. This is all my wonderful dye storage, and I'm going to do another video on it. My husband built this piece of furniture for me to my specifications to hold my little storage containers and my screens. It works great. TV, of course, and then I have a bookshelf in the corner, all sorts of art books, and family games, of course. And then I live in Florida, so there's always a fan handy. Plus, I've got the ceiling fan going right now. All right, let me show you my closet. And let's see, turn the light on to the closet. There we go. As you can see, it's a small walk-in closet that's quite full. And I changed out the hanging rods and put in shelves. Here I have quilts stored in here, fabric, finished compositions, and these little ones here are canvas art, the ones that are in the bag, something that's mounted on canvas, just a bunch more stuff, and batting. And then this piece of furniture right here houses all of my fat quarters, but I'm going to show you more about that in a separate video about storage. I'm showing you this part of my studio at night to avoid the backlight that I get during the day. I'm very enamored with little children's shoes, and I've got a couple on display here. These on the left I made from cardboard and fabric, and these on the right are contemporary shoes from Korea that would be worn by a little boy, maybe about age 3, to some sort of ceremonial function. Another fun thing that I have here is my twig color. I just wrapped a twig in a bunch of different fabric strips. When I ran out of one, I went on to the next. I just reached into the bag without even considering what color came next and tied it on, and it was quite a fun project, and I like the way it looks in my studio. Thank you for joining me on a little tour around my studio. I enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. You can find me on adventurequilter.com and on YouTube at Adventure Quilt Works. I've got some other videos in store for you, so until then, see you next time.